have no idea why this is, but when I think of Crash Bandicoot, the first things that immediately come to my mind are Blockbuster, Dunkaroos, Hit Clips, Backstreet Boys, you know, everything 90s related. I'm not sure why that is, maybe it's just me, but Crash Bandicoot is synonymous with the 90s and the early days of 3D gaming. Crash Bandicoot wasn't a large part of my childhood, nor was he a series that I picked up and played much back in the day, but through and through, he is a video game icon, and to see him land on a Nintendo console after all these years is very surreal to me. Even though we got the Crash Insane trilogy a few years ago, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time in many ways feels like a return to form for everyone's favorite Bandicoot. The sound effects, the music, the characters, just about everything in this game takes me back to the simpler times of playing games as a kid. So beyond nostalgia, is Crash 4 worth playing on the Nintendo Switch? How does it run? Is it worth playing? Let's dive in and check it out. What is up, my friends? It's Ray back here, and today we're going to be checking out Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on Nintendo Switch. If you've ever experienced Crash 4 on any of the other consoles, you'll know exactly what to expect here. It's About Time on Nintendo Switch is the exact same Crash adventure content-wise that you're going to find on the PS5, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. There was already so much to do in those games, so the fact that Nintendo fans now get to experience that incredible adventure is quite simply amazing. The one limitation with the Switch port, as you probably have noticed by now, are the visuals. Crash 4 doesn't look bad by any means on the Switch. It's more than playable, but it's clearly not as slick as the other versions of the game. Rather than 60 frames per second, the Switch version actually is capped at 30 frames per second, but from my experience, this port is more than passable. Let's put it this way, if the Switch version is the only version of Crash 4 that you're going to be playing, trust me, you're going to enjoy it. Whether it was docked or in handheld mode, I found Crash 4 to be an absolute blast. Although if you are familiar with 90s platformers from back in the day, it is going to be a frustrating experience, so expect to die many times. It is very apparent that developer Toys for Bob went above and beyond to ensure that Nintendo fans didn't get the short end of the stick when it comes to experiencing Crash 4. Their effort is very noticeable here. If I'm going to answer the question in the title of this video, yes, the Switch port is more than worthy of your time. Set after the events of the third game, Crash Bandicoot Warped, It's About Time started off with the evil doctors Neo Cortex and Entropy trying to figure out a way to open rifts in space and time so they can jump around the multiverse and conquer everything. The friendly guardian mask Aku Aku senses something isn't right and lets Crash know that, so he sets out on an adventure. Not too far after you start, you run into Lani Loney, one of the 4 quantum masks who only appear when the multiverse is open. So your objective in the game is to venture through nearly 30 levels to find the other 3 quantum masks and put an end to the impending danger. All of the fun, of course, lies in this adventure, and it is every bit as fun as it is frustrating, and I say frustrating in a good way. If you've ever played platforming games back in the day, you're gonna understand why I say that. The amount of times that you're gonna die trying to complete a level is likely going to be pretty high, let's just put it that way. What I found to be really cool though is the addition of the inverted mode that allows Crash to switch between worlds and use certain objects. It adds a whole new dimension to the gameplay, quite literally. Those looking for a modern PS1 era game with a PS1 era level difficulty need not look any further. Crash 4 is the real deal. This game got a lot of praise when it launched on the PS4 and Xbox One, and it's easy to see why that is. It's just loaded with so many things to do and has that retro feel with a modern twist. It's About Time is guaranteed to drive you crazy, especially if your goal is to 100% it. In addition to the story mode, there's also a pretty fun multiplayer mode, which includes Checkpoint Race, where you compete against each other in timed races from one checkpoint to the next, and there's also Crate Combo, where you break crates between checkpoints to score points and win the game. Both multiplayer modes can be played with 2 to 4 players, and actually it's a lot of fun. So, with that said, is the Switch version of Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time worth playing? I would say absolutely yes. The Switch version of Crash Bandicoot Bandicoot 4 It's About Time looks great and is very much an enjoyable experience whether you're playing docked or on the go. In fact, this is actually the only way that you can play the game on the go. Having never played the PlayStation, Xbox, or PC version, I can't compare it graphically to those, but having played it for a few hours now on the Switch, the game runs smoothly and rarely slows down. If you're on the fence about Crash 4 and only have a Nintendo Switch, the game is just a great experience that you will log many hours into. Toys for Bob did an awesome job with this Switch port here, and if you are on the fence, like I said before, I highly recommend playing it because it is just a lot of fun. Anywho, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did and you liked what you saw, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because it always helps out the channel. And until the next one, I'll catch you guys later. Peace!